Hello, my name is Brother Sean. As you can see, I'm in fancy dress. No, I'm not. I'm an enclosed contemplative Franciscan monk who is a member of the Teo community of St. Francis. We are an interspiritual family who embrace all faiths and love. Excuse me, I've got a dog hair up my nose. And today we are so blessed because we have members in different countries around the world who live a simple life. Some are married, some are single, widowed, divorced, disabled, gay, lesbian, heterosexual. They're all labels and they don't mean a thing to God because we are all a unique creation, a people set apart, created in the image and likeness of a loving God. I know within various established religions, they have a lot to say about the children of God who do not toe the party line. Well, that's sad. And many are condemned, even excommunicated, for daring to challenge the teachings of their established church or religion or belief. But I just want to reflect briefly on, are you in a rudderless boat? Are you going down a fast-flowing river and you've no control over it? And there's imminent danger ahead of you. You've got the rapids, you've got a waterfall, and you could end up being killed. Or would you like to be in an ocean-going liner that's properly steered, managed, with the right people there to guide you? And that choice is ours to make every day. I know I've spent many years in a rudderless boat, not knowing whether I was going north, south, east or west. And I guess a lot of that was down to my own stupidity, my own ignorance, my own apathy. And then when I had to face my greatest fear, hey, it wasn't nice. I had to face my fear. And a lot of it was guilt-related because of being a Catholic Christian. I discovered that why bother when I'm going to hell anyway? Because, I remember as a young novice, a senior novice, when I was training to be a nursing monk back in the 60s, we were told quite categorically from our novice master that he who puts his hand to the plough, in other words, who enters the monastic life and then leaves, will go to hell. So what was the point of being good? I guess I partied, boogied. I lived quite a hedonistic life for a few years to break away from all that guilt, with 12 years counselling to try and get rid of that reprogramming that had filled me with so much self-hate, self-loathing. But I still see it today, not in myself, but in so many beautiful souls who are so devout and loving towards God, but they're living in fear because their church tells them if they don't do this, that or the other, they're going to be condemned. Is that what God is all about? Why is it that religion today enslaves people to such negativity? Who has given them the right? It's not God. It's man. It's like these crazed, demented politicians and militia who take over their country by force, and they rule with an iron rod, and they destroy the innocent lives of our brothers and sisters. Look at Zimbabwe. I mean, it's shocking, isn't it? When you think that a tyrant can get away with so much. And people say, oh, but he's a big Catholic. But where is the church? Where is Pope Benedict? Why hasn't this man been excommunicated for the atrocities he has done to God's children? They don't want to make waves. Well, I'm sorry, as a Franciscan, I'm following in the footsteps of the barefoot Galilean and Francis of Assisi, an eco-warrior for peace. And Jesus, despite whatever people say about him, he was a man of the people for the people. And he did not tolerate injustice. And he did not believe in the Judaic religion enslaving people to fear and fear of God. And that's what's happening today. It's like as if there's two rules, one for those who can get away with it and one for those who get punished because of it. In my simple understanding of God's love and truth, one comes as a child of God and trusts that your needs will be met. And if you encounter any individual who tries to enslave you to a life of fear or guilt, give them a wide berth. They're taking you in a rudderless canoe down the fast-flowing river that become rapids, and the rudderless boat is going to be smashed as you will be. I have met beautiful souls on my journey in Madeira, in Scotland, in Ireland, in Wales, and different parts of the world who were devout Catholic Christian. I don't know why they were always Catholic Christian, but they came to the retreat days and the healing workshops that I used to do before I became enclosed, even in Egypt by the Red Sea. And when we would have a one-to-one to see how they were doing, my God, it was like Pandora's Box. The abuse that many had suffered at the hands of God's chosen people. And the way divorcees had been treated. Devout Catholic Christians whose partner had run off with some floozy in a jacuzzi, and they were denied the body and blood of Christ because it was the teachings of the church. It was not and is not the teachings of God. That is a man-made rule that is an abomination, in my opinion, because it sins against charity and compassion. And if Jesus is portrayed as a compassionate, loving God, it doesn't make sense that he would inflict that denial of his presence on an innocent soul who's party to a crime they didn't commit. So I think what we have to do today is we have to take stock. We've to come into our quiet place. We've got to face fact and reality and ask ourselves, if I'm a member of a religious family where I am not respected, loved and nurtured, and where there's a sense of freedom and ownership and responsibility and joy, then I must ask myself, why is that? I must have the courage to face whatever and challenge from a place of love, and not live as some servant, slave to man's ego. I know people have been excommunicated for daring to challenge the teachings and the hierarchy within the Catholic Church, and that's sad. I've seen it, where they toe the party line. It's the same in politics. They get the chief whip to toe them into line. But today we are living in wonderful times. 2012, the dawn of Aquarius, a new beginning, a reawakening to love, God's love. We cannot take chances and convince ourselves that we will manage a rudderless boat without professional support and spiritual guidance. The time has come to get a motor in our boat and fill it with good juice and then pull it, and then off we go, knowing that we can steer right or left. And if we come into any form of danger, then we can backtrack. There is no excuse today for being herded like a load of sheep without a shepherd. If the shepherd of the flock the pastor, minister, rabbi, or imam, or holy man or woman, is not of God, and by that I mean filled with the loving compassion of God, then you give it a wide berth. You take your power back and you walk that journey alone, listening to that inner voice of spirit, affirming you as a beautiful child of God, because that's what you are.